All right, let's talk a little bit about what I was going over with you the other day. So this model is basically the top spots that when I was poking on you were very, very sensitive or where you feel discomfort. And what I really wanted to do is just kind of show you what I visualize when I am assessing things and all of the tissues and structures that I am looking at. So, and this is also a very anatomically correct model, so bear with me if it looks any inappropriateness at all. But what I wanted to do is show you, they're called dermatomes, and they are where, basically from the low back, where those nerves tend to travel. So not everyone fits an exact pattern. These are kind of just general, and then people are a little bit more specific on themselves. But most of the places that people will have in general tend to be along this kind of L4-5 pattern or along the sciatic nerve pathway. So with you, I'm always addressing both because these peripheral nerves, when I say sciatic nerve, they stem from the spine anyways. It's just different patterns that we're looking at. So you kind of fit this more L4-5 as far as where it starts to come down from the low back and the buttock, and then it really does trace kind of right along the sciatic nerve. So I just wanted to give you a visual of when I'm talking, oh yeah, it comes from your L4-5 area, what that means. So that would be coming from your spinal area down here, but it tends to have a pretty big ache in the booty cheek and then comes down the leg. So if I take that dermatome off and we actually just go down to where nerves are, when I say sciatic nerve, and you've heard of sciatica before, I'm sure, it is a large nerve that comes right through the middle of the buttock, comes down, and then when I was telling you it splits, it makes its big split right here in the back of the leg, comes down behind the knee, and then comes down, and where you were feeling some of these knots, a lot of times knots will match up pretty well with nerve branches. So this branch on you was a little bit irritated, so when I was kind of out there on the outside of the shin, and then when we were right back here in the very back, if it will let me click on this one, that was a little irritated on you also. I just wanted to give you a visual, though, of where these nerves are. There are, if I take out the kind of secondary branch, this is the big one. That when it gets behind, the sciatic splits, and this turns into your fibular nerve, and it goes right around the head of your fibula. So when I was poking all along this line, you had some pretty big knots. If we add on the muscles to this, so that you kind of see what is tender, where that branch comes down, innervates your soleus is the deeper level, and then if we add on the last layer of muscle, it's your gastroc. So this is the calf muscle that most people think about when I say calf muscle. So if you can see, the muscle itself can be irritated, but look at all this nerve innervation to it. So when I'm needling, those are the pathways that I'm following. I did one right here in the middle where this branch is, did one on the inside, was tracing up your hamstring and was near this nerve, but I was coming in a little from the outside, angling in. And then as far as muscle bellies that I was in the low back and in the buttock area, this is your large glute max that you need to stand up, sit down, things like that. Your glute med was a little bit tender. Let me take off one layer. Okay, so this piriformis muscle right here also had, that was kind of one of those hot spot kind of epicenter for you. And if you can see, when I put sciatic nerve back on, it sits right on top of the sciatic nerve, that piriformis muscle does. So I addressed all of that. Then when I was telling you about the superior gluteal nerves, and I was kind of coming in from a top angle, we've got some of those. And I was trying to affect these, your inferior gluteal nerve. So this muscle, it does glute max. This nerve does glute max. Then when we come up to your low back, underneath this big fascia, we take off that muscle layer. when we get down to kind of underneath everything, which is why dry needling is so great, is because you'll see all these layers. I can actually get in, and when I was tapping on your transverse process, this is what I was tapping on out here to have an effect on all these nerve branches that are coming out. So just to give you a little overview of what I was addressing and why.